Good, you are all set. Yeah, to answer to your question, and yesterday as I explained you, yes, you need to follow some, the rule of them. Okay. For example, I wanted to see if we go back to yesterday's data set, right? We have a column called amount spent. And we have another column called salary, right? These two columns are numerical variable. And if I wanted to take a look at this, especially if I want to understand the distribution of the data, right? So what I do is I start do univariate analysis on these columns, okay? And importantly, the business columns, okay? Not on, for example, the customer ID is there. Customer ID is a quantitative variable. I'm not going to do any I'm not going to plot that at all because that doesn't make any sense, right? The customer ID, company to company, organizations to organization, they use different standard, right? The naming convention, everything is different. So the customer ID, we are not going to do any analytics. If I do any analytics, that doesn't make any sense, right? Customer ID, if I plot it in histogram or bar plot, what am I going to understand from the chart, right? Nothing I'm going to get. The columns that are that you are going to use it for your analysis, right? And don't tell me yes, we have imported all the columns in the given data set. Yes, but still we are not going to use customer ID. Customer ID is not going to be helpful, right? So that column, if you plot it in a chart, it doesn't make any sense. But yes, there are columns like amount spent and other salary. These columns are the quantitative variable. To understand the pattern of the data, distribution pattern of the data, we have to perform univariate analysis because in histogram you cannot plot more than one quantitative variable. Okay, fine. What else can I do? What other visualization? So that's what I told you yesterday. Scatter plot. We are supposed to use scatter plot to perform bivariate analysis. As the name suggests, bivariate, we need to use only two variables, right? We need to use only two variables. So univariate analysis, you are supposed to use only, you can use only histogram, and for bivariate analysis you can use scatter plot. Scatter plot also you are supposed to use two quantitative variable. So why do we have to use scatter plot? Yesterday we discussed, right? Several times I explained scatter plot. In the joint plot also I explained it, and even in the scatter plot also explained it, right? Why do we have to use scatter plot? To identify the relationship between the two quantitative variable, right? So yeah, so scatter plot helps us to understand how two quantitative variables are related. Are there any relationship or any correlation exists between these two variables? Fine. And apart from this, we used box plot. Why did we use box plot? Can someone tell me why did we use box plot? What is it? Yes, right. So yeah, box plot is also for doing bivariate analysis. But in the case of box plot, we have used a categorical variable along with the quantitative variable, right? So for that purpose, we can use scatter plot, and we can use box plot also. Box plot in this case, right, to identify to plot both the categorical variable and numerical variable, we have used box plot, right? So please note down all the things, okay? This is what I discussed. So this is the thing, right? So this is how what we do is we start explore the data, okay? This is the de facto standard. Most of us we follow it as part of the data analysis journey, okay? Once you get the data, the first thing what we do is, okay, that given the data is good or not, or the data whatever we received it from the customer is sufficient enough, or the sample given by them covers the or the sample whatever we received, does that the representative of the population or not, right? We will check it. If the data is representative of the random and representative of the population, the next step is how clean the data is, right? We could see a lot of missing values, and we could see outliers, everything is that. How do we know that? By exploring the data, using the visualization tools like, the box plot also helps us to find out are there any outliers are there in the given data, right? So using box plot, we'll try to find out outliers and missing values. We have a function called is null function. That's what we are going to discuss today, about missing values and how to handle those missing values. Okay. See, first thing is univariate analysis. Next one is bivariate analysis and multivariate analysis. That's where we'll be using the core plot, right? So correlation. We use a function called core, using which we identify the relationship amongst the amongst the quantitative variable. Okay, how strong the relationship between one. See, the core, using core function, we are identifying the relationship between the variables, right? How strong the variables, and we are quantifying the relationship between the variables. That's what we discussed. So, right, for that we use pair plot, and in this, right, we have used the heat map as part of Seaborn. Here's something called I will open it here itself. So why should I? Even the one advantage of GitHub, right? You can open the script here itself, like how you open it in Notepad, Jupyter Notebook. Okay, but you cannot open the file whatever I send it to you using the Windows Notebook. Okay, because the file extension is .ipynb. To open this file, you have to use Jupyter Notebook or the GitHub itself, right? You can open it. Look here, this is what we discussed yesterday, right? So this is the data set and bivariate analysis. See, I put a title, everything. So this is you need to use this one. Okay, look at this one, right? This is the box plot, right? This is the box. The command is box plot. We have used this one for bivariate analysis, right? And most of the thing we have used box plot and strip plot. Strip plot also, as I explained to you clearly, to get a better understanding about this one, we can use it. See, you don't have to go always the odd and fast rule, right? But the basic thing is, you need to perform univariate analysis, you need to perform bivariate analysis. Why do we have to perform univariate analysis? With this, what kind of insight we got it? We were able to get some insight, right? So 50% of the customers, their amount spent is this, and again salary also you can plot it. That can give you an idea about what is the distribution of the customers. The salary distribution of the customers. You can see it, right? So, and this is the one will give you the. See, here we plotted all the variables, right? This is what correlation function, core function using. You remember I discussed about Pearson correlation, right? So by taking the correlation and assigning this to variable, and we can plot it here, and then this can help us to understand, in terms of identifying the relationship between the variable with the variable in terms of the relationship, in terms of the quantified correlation value, right? This is correlation value 0.66, 0.47, right? So while in plot, see, it is not, when should I use while in plot? Don't always go by the rules of thumb, right? You just plot it and just look at it. Certain things, right? Certain things are, yes, common sense, and certain things you can go outside the box, you can plot it. See, bar plot can be helpful, right? So if I use catalogs, basically I want to check the count. See, this is a count plot. Sorry, this is a count plot. With the help of count plot, I can see. So bar plot, when can we use it? Bar plot can give you the trends, right? The sales and probably how many number of units sold in each county or each store. How many items that we sold, with the different products. In that case, you can, and also you can compare, right? Quarter on quarter sales using bar plot, quarter on quarter, and even the case of pie chart, right? If you wanted to find out the market share, right? What is your market share, right? And also if you wanted to know the revenue compared to your competitor or across the category, right? Category wise, what is the contribution, right? Let's say in this case, this customer sells the products in 3 different categories, and which categories contribution is more in terms of revenue, right? So those kind of situation you can use pie chart, okay? But anyhow, don't spend too much of time. Just go through on my See, I would strongly recommend you to start, download the data and this script file, keep executing it, right, and then try to understand. When you look at this visualization itself, you'll be able to understand, right? But anyhow, don't worry too much. When we start do the machine learning algorithm, you will get to know that. I will explain you in detail, okay? And also we have something called facet grid. Facet grid is very much helpful. For this, right, there is no rule. When should I use facet grid? It depends on your need. For example, no one told me when I started exploring the data, I started my analytic journey, I kept on using different charts. I knew what kind of charts are there. I knew the commands. These commands are very simple. You do not have to write too many lines of code, but still, there are certain things, right? You need to write reasonable amount of code in terms of giving the scale, specific scale and the size of the chart. And for example, if you want to display number of charts in a single row, how many number of charts to be displayed in a single row, right? How many number of how many number of columns to be created in the chart, and how many number of rows should be created, all those things, right? So anyhow, I did not explain that we have something called subplot. We'll discuss this later. At this moment, don't worry too much, but understand whatever I explained you, right? So try to remember and recall whatever I discussed. There is no rule of thumb, nothing, okay? But these are the certain things we have to follow. Yes, you have to bivariate analysis. This is the chart, scatter plot, and box plot is meant for you see, this one will give you the 5-number summary, and also it will help you to understand the outlier in your data set, right? So those kind of things. Probably I will, I'll try to send out some document. You just take a look at it. See, in the case of Tableau and ClickView, right? So they mentioned very clearly what kind of chart that needs to be used when, right? But you will get to know over a period of time. But don't, go in depth to understand, because our objective is not to become a report developer. But end of the day, yes, the visualization charts are very much helpful. But at this moment, whatever you learned, if you know that much, that is more than sufficient, okay? Fine. So next, today we will, let me just, I already started recording it, right? Okay, today we'll start with this part, okay, the missing values. How do we handle missing values? These are all see, so far we, as of yesterday, we discussed about the data visualization part. The next, now what we are going to do is we are trying to address some data related issues, okay? We are trying to address some data related issues. How are we going to address the data related? Why should I worry about the data related issues? That and all we will see tomorrow. This is part of your data pre-processing. This is part of your data processing. Customer gives you data, right? You cannot simply go ahead and perform any analytics. Forget about building a machine learning model or deep learning. Before even you go there, if you wanted to conduct the basic analytics, right? You need to have the good data. If you don't have the good amount of data, then whatever analysis that you do will mislead you, okay? So that is the reason why we need to make sure that our data is very clean. So today what I'm going to cover now is, as part of data pre-processing. In the data science life cycle, we have something called, right, data pre-processing. Don't worry too much about data science life cycle. We'll discuss it later, okay? As part of data pre-processing, right? So this is one of the steps that we are going to follow in terms of, addressing the data related or data quality related issues, right? Especially the missing data, right? So most of the real world data sets are not clean, right? So we know very well that whatever the data we get it from the customer, or whatever the data which we try to pull from the source system wherever we have access, right? Supposing you joined with Walmart and they give you access to their various source system, and what you do is, as a data scientist or data analyst, right, you talk to them, understand their business requirement or pain points, and then you try to understand what all data that are required, which all columns that are required. Once you understand the columns, once you understand the source system, right, So what you do, the next step is you take those data, you collect the data. But whatever the data that you collect, there is no assurance that, those data sets are clean, right? So you may tend to find missing values in various columns in your given data set, right? For example, an insurance customer record might be missing an age, right? An insurance customer, the record might be missing an age, right? Based on the age of the customer, the premium value is determined, right? For example, the data, whatever the data we are using, let's say I'm working for an insurance company, right? Let's say, customers applied for auto insurance, car insurance. Car insurance is very much important in USA and even in India, but the punishments are very severe in USA, okay? Okay, you applied for, forget about the punishments or you will be punishments, other things, okay? End of the day, if you meet with an accident, if any damage happens to your car, right, you don't have to pay from your pocket. Right? The insurance company will bear that, right? So in that case, let's say you are, I work for an insurance company. I'm part of the auto insurance. Many customers, they applied for the car insurance, okay? And I just go through each customer's car insurance related data. Okay, so as part of this insurance data, I could see that the customer name, customer age, and the brand name, okay, the brand name and model and age of the car, and also we could see the owners, number of owners. Okay, am I the first owner or second owner? What are the other columns that we can find it in the insurance data set? We can find other columns like what is that? Yeah, sum insured, right? Sum insured. All these columns are there. Okay. In this case, the age of the car is one of the important column, one of the important field, or one of the important data, which helps me to determine the insurance. Sorry, the premium, right? How much premium he is supposed to pay given the sum assured, right? He wants to cover the insurance plan which he goes for, right? It should cover, let's say, 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, right? Let's say Rishik, he is owning a car and he is going for a car insurance plan, and as part of that, he is okay to afford 3 lakhs. He is looking for 3 lakhs cover in case any accident, any damage happens, right? In that case, the insurance company has to pay him at least 3 lakhs, okay? But no insurance company pays whatever the sum assured they promise it. Again, they assess the condition. Based on the condition and based on the situation, they decide how much we are eligible for the claim, right? But let's say I applied, Rishik has applied for the insurance plan, car insurance plan. And now they are assessing each and every customer's insurance form, right? When they see, okay, some insurance is 3 years, and now the question is, what is the age of the car, right? And which brand is owning it? The brand name is there, model name is there, a number of owners is missing, and the experience of the driver is missing, or experience of the driver is there, and the age of the car is missing, right? Age of the car is missing because let's say you are owning 20-year-old, 15-year-old car, and if you go for 3 lakhs insurance coverage, right? First of all, the value of the car itself not 3 lakhs. Okay? So they check all the aspects based on the age of the car, based on the brand of the car, and based on the model, and based on the number of drivers or drivers experience. They determine the premium, insurance premium, how much you are supposed to pay every year, right? That insurance premium. So these are the columns, are important columns. These columns have missing values. How can I determine the premium rate for these customers, right? So these columns will have impact. Supposing the age has been wrongly mentioned, age of the car has been wrongly mentioned. Even in the case of health insurance, the patient age is wrongly mentioned. What will happen? So I will ask him to pay less premium amount, but end of the day he gets admitted more frequently in the hospital. It is a loss for the insurance company because of the oversight. Instead of mentioning 58, they put 38, age of the patient. Right? So what will happen? End of the day, insurance company will be losing money. But when they knew the age, the day when the patient applied for the insurance plan, in the case of healthcare, so I would have been very clear. Okay, this guy is 58. Given his past history, he will get admitted more frequently, or frequent visit to the hospital will be very high. In that case, every now and then he will start applying the claim, right? So in that case, insurance company should not lose money. So what we will do is we will charge the premium according to the age. Similarly, when it comes to the car, right? So how many number of times? Yeah, this is one of the important. How many number of times the car met with an accident? Let's say my car is just 3-year-old, but within the 3 year, let's say I met with 4 to 5 times. I met with an accident, and 4 to 5 times I filed the claim and I got the claim amount from them. More frequently, when I apply for the claim, it is a loss for the insurance company. Based on these details, these informations are very critical for the business to decide how much premium amount that I supposed to pay. If these columns or informations are missing, then right, it can mislead us, or it can make us to determine a wrong premium amount. Right? So that's the reason why all these informations are very critical. And but again, so all the customer email ID, my phone number, these columns, even if there is a missing value in it, we don't have to worry. Nobody is going to worry about that, right? So it is not very critical, but there are columns which are very much important, right? Like as I told you, right? The columns like age of the car and number of times they met with an accident. All these things are very important, right? And again, there are a number of claims in the past. How many number of times they claimed with the previous insurance company, and how much loss they incurred, right? And right, those kind of things, right? Territory, which territory they live in, right? Marital status, right? And license year, which year they got the license. But all these data are very important. Zip code, right? Zip code is also there, but zip code is not much helpful in terms of determine, even if there is a missing value in it, right? Let it be there, but certain columns are very critical to the business. Those columns are not supposed to have missing values. If I have a missing values in this column, what should I do? So what can I do? Can I remove those records or customers data which has missing values in it? Let's say each customer 20 to 25 columns are there, right? Of the 25 columns, 5 columns have missing values, but these 5 columns are not business columns. Okay, even if there is a missing value, let it be there. Email ID is not there, is contact number is not there, right? So let it be there, right? So these columns are not non-business columns. Other columns are very important, right? So if there is a missing value, can I remove the records? Because my manager told me to proceed with conducting the analysis, right? To proceed with conducting, or he wanted me to make some prediction, right? So he wants me to implement a machine learning model or deep learning model. Before that, I want to make sure that the given data is clean. But when I look at this data, I could see that most of the customers, or few customers, or 20% of my customers' data has missing values, especially on the critical columns. So what I say is, let's say 5% of data, right? In the given, let's say 10,000 customers, they applied for car insurance, right? So when I go through this, out of 10,000, oddly 15 to 20 customers records were missing, right? It has some missing values here and there. If I remove those records and if I proceed with conducting the analysis further, it makes sense, because less number of data if you remove 5% of the data if you remove it, right? It doesn't make any sense. Sorry, it doesn't have any impact, right? You can delete those 5% of records. But if you have 30% of the data has a missing value in it, can I remove the data and proceed with conducting further analysis? It depends on the volume of the data. For example, I have 100,000 customers data is there with me. Right, of the 100,000, let's say if I 2 lakhs, right, so sorry, out of 100,000, let's say 100 records are missing, fine. Let's say let's say this one for 30,000, 40,000 records are missing, right? 30,000 records are having missing value. What I do is, or 50% of the data has a missing value. If I have 50% of the data missing in my data set, I will go back and tell my insurance company, boss, 50% of data are missing here. Can you give me some other data? Or can you help me and what value to fill in these blank, missing values? Wherever missing values, can you give me some rule so that I can fill it? Or give me some other data, or you can fill these data and give it to me. Listen very carefully. If the amount of data which has a missing value in it is negligible, you can delete it. Like 5% of the data has a missing value, you can delete it. If the data, right, if the 50% of the data has a missing value in it, go back and tell them to better get the new data. Because with this, you cannot do any analytics. Even if you do any analysis, it doesn't make any sense. The other strategy is, supposing I have 20 to 25% of data as a missing value in it, and the total number of records given to me is already very less. If I remove the 20 to 25% of the data from my given data set, what will happen is my data set, the size will reduce. Right? Let's say already they gave me only 1,000 records. Out of the 1,000 records, if I remove 250 records, my sample size will get reduced. Right? School time we studied sample and population. Right? Your sample is supposed to be representative of population. If the sample size get reduced, what will happen is the sample will become biased. With the biased sample, if you proceed with doing any analysis, it can mislead you. So what is the way out? I cannot, in this case, let's say I have 25% of data, given data, as a of the given data, 25% of the data has a missing value. I cannot remove it. If I remove it, the total sample size will get reduced. So one way out is we perform data imputation. What do you mean by data imputation? Filling the missing value. Wherever the missing value, for example, the age of the vehicle is missing. What we do is we fill the missing value, right, with the given data set. So how do I fill the missing value? Wherever the blank values are there in this column, age of the vehicle, I will fill those values, missing values, wherever is there, I am going to fill it. How do I fill it? Can I blindly fill it? I take the average of the column and then I will fill it. I take the average of that column, I will fill it there. For example, in the age column, I take the average, age of the car, I take the average, and wherever missing values are there, I will fill this with this average value. But now the question is, different customers, they come for insurance, car insurance, with the different brands, different years of vehicle, right? Age of the vehicle, they come. You cannot blindly take average. Let's say, on that specific day, 5,000 people, they applied for the loan. Sorry, applied for the insurance, car insurance, right? So in that case, if you take the average age, it can mislead you. Right? It can mislead you. But this is one simple strategy most of them they follow. You take the average on the age column, and with that average, you take that average, wherever the missing values are there, replace the missing value by this average. Okay? This is one way of doing it. And the next step is, okay, so, but this doesn't sound good, right? if I take the average on the entire data set of this column, and if I replace this average or replace the missing value by this average age of the car, right? It doesn't sound good. What can I do? Is there any other one? Right? So that is where the conditional mean imputation coming into picture. Based on some condition, we are going to impute the data. Right? For example, in the given data set, you just check, are there any cars, right? Different customers, they use different cars, right? We try to find out, are there any other cars, or are there any other brand of the car, right? Do we have other customers, any other customers apply for the insurance, car insurance with the same brand of the car, same model, right? And then the car manufacturing date, right? And then the car when they purchased it, right? All those details will be there. And the purchase date can be helpful some extent, right? So purchase date, when did they buy the car? When did they buy the car, right? So if you know the day when they buy the car, right, you will try to mention the age of the car, right? So based on, this is called dependent variable, right? So based on one column, we are trying to impute another column. This is one way of imputing the data. Okay, let's say let's say I went for a car insurance. So let's different plans are there. I opted for one specific plan, and they asked me to fill the form. So in that form, the age of the car is missing. But I have another column, I filled it. So when did I purchase the car? Can I say based on the purchase date, can I fill with this information? Can I fill the age of the car? Does it make sense? I guess most of you own car, right? So I know, let's say a specific customers, right? He purchased a car, but again, yeah. So it's a brand new car, right? It's a brand new car, but the second owner, third owner. Let's not get into that confusion. Let's start with simple solution, right? Simple problem, and then we'll dive into complex problem. Let's say a specific customer is a single owner, and he purchased a car in so and so year. Let's say in 2015 he purchased. So we can obviously say, we can compute the age of the car, right? 5-year-old car. Now the question is second owner, third owner. How can I find out? So there is a challenge there. But at least some extent we can find out, right? So say single owner, and the date of purchase of the car, with that we can fill this column. We can perform imputation. Imputation is nothing but replacing the missing values with the value of the variable mean for a relevant group. Okay. Let us get into the complicated part little later. This is some condition. Based on some condition, we will go and check whether the customer's car purchase date is there, and is he a single owner. We compare these two columns. Yes, if he is a single owner, and if this column has a value, the date of purchase of the car, then I am going to impute. Then I am going to replace, I am going to compute the age of the car and update that information in the blank space. This is called conditional mean. And there are different examples. When I give a demo, you will try to understand how to perform computation. When I'll take the retail data and then we will play around with that, we will be able to understand. And apart from this, as I told you, the deletion method, right? A proportion of missing is less than 50%, but it may remove a considerable fraction of the data, right? So what we do is we remove the data, based on some critical column, right? If the columns are, but even though the columns are having critical columns are missing values, 15% of the data, if you remove it, the total number of record size will get reduced. Right? What we do is we have something called pairwise deletion. Even in the case of pairwise deletion also, right, there will be some issues. Right? So there will be some issues. Even in the case of listwise and pairwise deletion also, there will be issues, especially if the volume of the data which you are going to delete it, right? If it is too much, then you are gone, right? Then there is no point in continuing with further analytics. Right? So what we do is, instead, for example, if the 20% of data or 25% of the given data has a missing value in it, we perform data imputation. We replace the missing value with some meaningful data. What is the meaningful data? Please listen very carefully. Okay, we take the mean of the data. When am I supposed to use mean and when am I supposed to use median? Can someone tell me? When can I use mode? Don't tell me what is mean, median. We know that, right? Even Rishik, he knows. He's a 12th standard student. He knows. Okay, mean, median, mode, right? So when can we use mean? If the data is not skewed, then you can use mean. If the data is skewed, you need to use median. So I said, mean is nothing but average, right? In statistics, we call averages mean, right? So as I told you, mean imputation. If there is a missing value, we take the mean. But still, we just, so okay, now I'll ask you this question to Prakash. Prakash, can you tell me, okay, if there is a missing value in a specific column, age of the car as a missing value, I take the average. Let's say, manager told me, the manager told you very clearly, you need to take the average of that column and you take that average and replace wherever the missing values with this average. Can you literally go by taking the average or can you use median?
First, whether I will check if the data is properly skewed or not.
Excellent, yeah.
If not, then I will.
Yeah, how do you get to know if the data is skewed or not?
So first I will check in the mean value and apply this formula.
Apart from checking the mean value, is there any other visualization that you are going to use it?
Yes, we can put it in the scatter graph where we can see how the data.
Not scatter. Okay, histogram or box plot. We use histogram or box plot. Okay, right? Using histogram, we will get to know the distribution pattern. Right, whether the data is normally distributed or not, we will get to know with the help of histogram or box plot. That's why I told you, right? So in the yesterday's visualization, I discussed about histogram. Histogram is meant for checking the distribution pattern. What do you mean by distribution pattern? Whether the given data is normally distributed or not.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, by looking at that, right, you get to know that. Let's by looking at that, right, histogram, you could see that it is not normally distributed, it's positively skewed or negatively skewed. Then the data is skewed. Then what do you take? The median. You find out the median value and then you replace it. But again, median you cannot blindly take it on a case-to-case basis. Okay, let us not complicate that. Let's say in that case you take the median and then you fill that value, right? So when will you use mode? Let's say I have a categorical variable. Okay, let's say I have something called the store manager. Store manager, let's we have close to 1,500 stores are there, right? But each store, let's hypothetically think, right? Only two store managers are there. Okay. So in that case, store manager, each person name is, something like some AD or what is it? Matt Trazier or Tress, something like that. American names or something, right? They have 1,500 stores. Each store maximum 2 store managers will be there. That's all. Okay, and 15 into 2, 30,000, right? But the number of transactions when you see in my given data set, it will be probably millions and millions of records. But when you take the distinct values in this store manager column, it will be, the cardinality will be very less. Rishik, don't get confused with cardinality, other things, okay? This is more related to statistics. Don't worry, okay? Certain things you can ignore it. Or if you are interested, you can, watch this one also, you can hear it. Okay? So, this column is a categorical variable, but still in this categorical variable also we have some missing values. What I am doing is, mode is nothing but the most popular value, right? Most popular value. So what you do is, in that case, you take the most popular store manager name and then perform imputation. So the point here is, in the case of categorical variable, character variable, we can use mode. In the case of skewed data, median. Non-skewed, you use mean. Okay, remember this, don't forget this. Fine, but here that's what you need to understand these things. Okay, I'm doing imputation, right? I did imputation successfully, but that doesn't mean right it will improve my predictions. Right? Can give better results than discarding the samples containing any missing. Yeah, imputation, imputing the missing values can give better results. That doesn't mean it can improve my prediction accuracy. Okay, and in some cases dropping rows using Markov is more effective, right? Certain cases, yes, you need to remove the record. There is no point in including those records. Certain records, if you look at it, majority of the columns are having missing values. Better you remove those records or use some marker values. Certain columns, right? Most of the time we encountered this issue. They say if there are any missing values, you put 99999 or 99, right? Or -1, you put -1. That means those records are missing values. With that, we'll be able to understand. With that flag, right, we'll be able to understand. Marker value, we'll be able to understand which records are missing values. Fine. So now we understood what is mean imputation, conditional mean imputation, deleting the record and all. We will see it later in detail. So now let us try to understand what are the functions or methods that are available in Python in order to identify the missing values in the given data set. And we have something called not null function. It is an opposite of is null, right? In the given data set, how many number of non-missing values related records are there? And drop any. If I wanted to drop the records which have a missing values in it, there is an option given drop any. Is null is to identify the missing values. Drop any is to remove the missing values. Fill any is to perform the data imputation. As I told you, if the total number of records has just 5% of missing data in it, then you can use drop any and remove it. Okay, let's take another scenario. With the given data set, we could see close to 20 to 25% of data are missing. If I remove those data, total number of records, my sample size will get reduced. So in that case, I want to perform data imputation. There is a function called fill any, using which you can replace the missing data with a default value, or based on some business logic, you can input the data. Alright. So these are the functions are available. Anyhow, don't worry. We will I'll just dive into the notebook and I'll show you how to perform data imputation using Python. Okay. We'll create one column called data pre-processing, one data folder. Okay, data pre-processing. Here I'm going to create let it be there. 3.6. This is my notebook name. So I'm going to open this now. So as usual, import all the common packages. You import it first. And we have something called SciPy, scientific Python. Okay, stats import more. Next, I am going to check the data files. What data files? I'm going to use some dealing with missing values IPyNB. This is the one, right? So this data file is not there. So what I will do is I will upload one data file which is called, let me do one thing here. How can I read a CSV file? Rishik. This is how, right? Sorry. Oh, this file is not there. Oh, NB user, right? So let me just check PWD and home NB user library. Yeah, it must be there, right? So ls minus lto home NB user. Oh, I upload it as this one, right? Library NB user, right? Retail missing is there, right? Home NB user retail missing is there. Yeah, is that a CSV file, Excel file? It is there, right? Yeah. Let me just check the content of this file. Retail home NB user retail missing.csv. Yeah, data is there, but some other confusion happened here. Home NB user retail PD CSV retail missing.csv. Maybe some encoding problem. Encoding, it will throw an error immediately. UTF-8 code cannot decode in position invalid start byte. Let me use something called encoding. Yeah, it's a encoding problem. Okay, so encoding is something like, when you create any file, or when you create a file and when you store it, right, the file will get stored to a specific operating system format, right? In order to convert that to a common thing, right, we will use something called encoding. Okay, encoding is kind of a common one. We can use encoding. Okay, that is the problem happened here. Okay, so at this moment you ignore about the encoding also. Let us focus on the core problem now. Okay, so this is the product name and the category. How many columns are there? Oddly 6 columns are there, right? Oddly 6 columns are there. So with this column, okay, just we looked at the 5 columns. We could see product name and category, store manager, quantity, price, and percentage sold. Okay, the next what we are trying to do is I want to check, are there any missing values? Is null function is available, is null, and sum function. It gives me the column wise missing values. Product name column has 3 missing values, category has 9 missing values, storage manager. So all these columns are missing values. Okay, and category itself we have 9 missing values, product name itself missing, and price is missing, and quantity is missing, right? We need to now let us take a look at this data set. What is the size of this data set? Retail dot shape. Shape gives me number of records. Oddly I have 100 records. Just because I have 27 missing values are there in this column, if I remove this one, I will end up with, hardly I have 70 records I will be having it roughly, right? So my total number of records will get reduced, right? So I don't want to remove these records, missing values, right? And the 27 records, wherever missing values were there in this column, right? I don't want to remove it. Instead, I want to perform some kind of data imputation, right? So retail dot locate. I'm going to use retail dot is. See, now what I'm going to do is, See in this column, right, price column 8 records have missing values in it. I want to check which all products which all products have missing price. I want to see the product name and also the corresponding category name, right? Which category and which products have missing values for this price column, right? Just if I look at the 8 missing values against the price column, it is not giving me any detailed information. See, I'm just curious to know, okay, the price column has 8 missing values in it, okay. So now by looking at this, okay, which all products belong to which categories have a missing values in my data set. Just a common sense, that's all, right? See, this one you will develop automatically, okay. That's what the analyzing the data, and telling the story or building the compelling story, it's all science and art. It will take over a period of time for you to develop, right? When you start practicing it, take data, I'll give you more assignments, start work on it and try to extract as much information as possible, insights as possible, so that you will gain more confidence. And I want to see the price, right? So the missing value, retail dot price dot is null, right? It will wherever true is there, that record will be fetched, and the corresponding data will be fetched for these 3 columns. I don't want all the columns to be fetched, only these 3 columns I'm interested. So with this I could see that how many number of records were missing in price column, 8 records, right? So index records are nothing but the index values, right? This is my index value for this row number 6 or index 6 for this row as a missing value. See, for this product I don't have the price, and Homes EPA airfare I don't have the price, right? And I could see these 2 records, right? It is a totally blank record. Why should I have these records, right? These records do not have any value in it. Why should I keep these records here, right? It doesn't make any sense. See, when you look at in detail, right, when you look at the high level information, you tend to think 8 records have missing values in the price column. But when you started getting into the finer granular level, you will get to know, oh man, so category name is not there, product name, price is not there. Maybe something wrong. This is a blank record, right? We might tend to think like that, right? So, okay. So, what is the next step? The next step is I'm going to find out, right? Let's say, I'm trying to find out. I'm using group by retail dot group by. Retail dot group by. I'm going to group by is a function, right? I'm going to use product name and price, and here I'm going to give mean, right? So mean, the average price of the product. I just want to check it out, okay? Everything is there, but this one has missing value, right? But what is this product name? Round wall clock. Yeah, that's what we have seen it, right? That's what we have seen it here. Okay. So any of this is not much helpful, right? So the next step is, what I'm going to do is, anyhow, I don't want to complicate further. Okay, the next step is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to the data imputation. Okay, I'm going to do the data imputation. So what kind of thing that we are going to do? For example, we have category also is there, right? Category is there, and what else we have it? And category and category and store manager, these columns, right? Quantity, these columns, we are missing values here, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to perform data imputation rather than deleting. Before performing the data imputation, okay, I'm going to use something called drop NA, right? We used isNull function. Using isNull, we are able to find out the column wise missing records, right? Now I'm going to use retail isNull function, sum function will help you to understand the total number of records. How many number of records has a missing value. But again, you cannot go by this, because product name, some columns you have missing value. Look here. So this column, these products, right, have a missing value, right? So 2 columns you have missing value, and ideally 3, right? Here 2 is missing, it shows. Product name 3. Maybe we will see why the product name is okay. Is null. Apart from that, why only 3 columns? It shows, it's confusing, right? Okay, let me just, okay, because because we used price is null, right? We are using this one, and if I use product is null, right, it will show you product name is null. Yeah, 3 records have a missing values, right? When you look at the product name, you will get to know, but we are looking at the price, right? Price for the product name, right? Whichever products have a missing values. And first of all, we have 3 products that has a missing value in it, okay? The next one is, what I'm going to do is, product name, I'm not going to do anything now, but store manager is there, and the price is there, and percentage told is there, right? So can you tell me, is there any way if I can find out the product name? Because the price is there, right? And price is there, quantity is not there. With price, can I find out which product has a similar price? Yes, we can find out, right? How can I find out? By checking this data set, right? You can do some kind of merge join and find out which product has missing, which product price is similar to 4.38, right? Or you can just simply query, right? The price, right? Retail price is equivalent to 4.38, right? So by doing so, you will get to know, do we have more than one product available with this price? If any other product name has the similar price, we can conclude that, okay, so for this line item with this price, right, we have only one product is already available with the product name, right? One second, just show you here, retail dot or let me just do is equivalent to 4.38, right? We'll check, are there any other records that are available? No, we are not lucky. For example, if any other record is available, if any other record was available with this price, and if the product name was available, we can pick up from there and we can update here. But unfortunately, this record is not much helpful, right? We cannot do anything. What is the other thing that you do it? So next step is, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to look at the store manager, right? Store manager. Yeah, store manager. And what are the other columns? Product name. Product name, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say, and category. Category, we have missing values. 9 missing values are there in category. So what I'm going to retail dot category. Dot value counts, right? Value counts. So here I can see that each category, how many number of transactions we did it, right? That's what, how many number of transactions happen. We can see that, but here we don't see the missing value at all, right? But when you use the command isNull function, we can easily find out 9 records in category were missing, but when you use value counts, it is not showing. That means the count is not taking into account of the missing values, right? So now what I'm going to do is the retail dot the column name, right? The column name is category. I'm going to use drop any here. There is a not drop any, fill any. I'm going to use fill any. Okay, with fill any, we'll see how we can import it. Okay, so for example, instead of this one, right, I'm going to use category dot fill any. This is the syntax. Okay, fill any. What I'm going to do is here I'm going to say not available, right? So not available. So category is not available, and I'm going to use in place equal to true. In place equal to true. Let us see what is happening now. Okay, now I did this. Now I'm going to execute the same command. I don't want to execute it here itself because I want you to understand the difference between these two, right? So look here, now not available got included. So previously not available was not there, now not available got included. So now with this we can conclude that, see, in the normal or DBMS also it happens, right? Any Oracle table or any table you use it, when you use count, it doesn't take into account of the missing values, right? That's what. But after I did the imputation, so this is where we did the data imputation, right? We did the data imputation. We just replaced the missing value by not available in the case of category column. Fill any, using a fill any function. Fill any, one advantage with fill any is it automatically checks wherever the missing values are there for this column, and it replaces that missing value with this value, right? So don't always think, since I told you to use mode in the case of categorical variable, blindly don't go by mode also, right? Sometimes certain things you need to cross verify with your business stakeholders, right? Before you perform any imputation, you check with them, can I use not available, can I use mode, right? But if you use mode on category column, right, it can also mislead you, right? For example, if you blindly take the, let's say this one, right, paper is more frequently it is appearing it because more number of transactions happen in paper. Since this one is happening, if you take the mode paper, right, simply if you put paper for these 9 records, where is this not available, right? So maybe you paper, but the product name will be different, right? Product name and the paper, the category name may not be same. It will be misleading, confusing you. In that kind of situation, though it is a categorical variable, the category column, you need to use something like common sense and put not available. Because of not available, after I did the imputation, right, wherever the missing values are there for these 9 records, when I use not available, now I could see that, okay, it makes sense, fine, right? So we can do that. Similarly for product also we can do the same thing, right? For product. So now we will check, are there any, did we do the imputation perfectly? Can we see any missing values in this column in the case of category column, right? Category became 0, right? Perfectly we did the imputation. Now we don't have any missing values in the category column. Similarly in the product name also you can perform the same thing, right? You can do the same thing, product name. Product name you simply say missing, right? Missing. Here you need to be very careful. Product name, because when you give in place equal to true, it will make these changes permanently. Okay, by default it is false, right? If you don't specify true, right, these changes will not be appearing permanently. Temporarily it will be there. Okay, so now let us take a look at this one. Can we see the imputation has been done successfully or not, right? So one second, just let me do one thing. Good, product name and category, we did a good job. Okay, so next one is we have something called quantity, right? So quantity. So what my manager says, you don't have to worry, simply you take the average on the quantity column and then you fill the column with the average value. Wherever the missing values are there for the 27 columns, right, you replace the blank values by the average of this column. Right? For example, if I take the average, what will happen? Retail.quantity mean, right? So mean is the average. 5126. Oh my God, this is way too high, right? So the average we are getting. Okay, in this case, let's say median. median, right, median, 5316. So that one was far better, right? Five and two, this is far better, right? Compared to median, this is far better, but still it doesn't make any sense. Quantity. Let us work on the quantity also little later. At this moment, right? Let us try to understand how to impute the price column, right? We'll work on the price column. Okay. How do I perform the price? For example, retail dot wherever the missing values are there for this price column, right? I'm going to use, sorry, this one, right? So in this case I've used this now. Yeah, these columns we don't have any. Yeah, we have missing already. We just checked it, right? Product name and most of them. How many records? 2, 4, 6, 7. Missing also came into picture now, right? And now what we will do is we will take this column, okay, and we'll take this column HEPA home retail, and I'm going to say retail. I'm going to check, see if I take the average blindly, right, on all the entire column, right, what will happen? It will mislead us. If I take the average on all these columns, some products you have 68, some products you have just 2.99. But if you take average of this, for example, you take average here. So what is the average? If you take average on the price column, how much you will get? Retail dot price dot mean. Even if you take a median also, not, see, $14, right, $14, but if you replace that for this product, right, 2.99, it can mislead us, right? It can make us to think, okay, we sold more, right? But end of the day, you are supposed to multiply the price by quantity to find out the total sales, right? In that case, what will happen is it will show the average will be skewed, right? Even if you take median, right? Median is also not that good. See, this is 14, right? Median is in this case it is fine. We can simply take the median and we can. But in general, price column we cannot use it, right? We cannot use price column. But still, this $6, there $3. And the number of quantity is more, especially in this case, 293 quantity is there, and if you put $6, double the time it will show the revenue. So 6 into 293, it will make you to think, you made $1,800, right? It mislead you, right? It doesn't make it. But with this, we are able to understand this median. Since we have taken median, it got reduced. This column is skewed. Price is a skewed one. For that, you need to use histogram to check that. Okay. So what is the way out? So what I'm trying to do is, so does this product, see, this product has a missing value. Home, listen very carefully. Okay. Homes, it's HEPA air fear has a missing value here. All right. So if I'm trying to find out, is there any other record which is similar to this product is available in my transaction, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do group by. Good, it is available, right? I have another record which has a similar product. We sold it. The price was 5.94. The price is 5.94. This record is already available. A simple thing, right? I shouldn't have done this one. Simply what we could have done, right? So we can select this thing, right? The simple common sense is, are there any other record which is similar to this product is available? More than one record? Yes, it shows, right? Product name equal to Holmes HEPA air purifier. It shows me very clearly there are two records are available. Holmes HEPA purifier, and see one record, the price is not there. That is what we have seen it here, right? Holmes HEPA air purifier, it has a missing value. This is what we have seen it earlier, right? But we have another record or another transaction wherein we sold the same product, and fortunately the price is also available here. So now what I should do is I take the average of these two. When I take the average of these two, look here, that is what I did it here, right? When I did the group by what it does is it takes the average, right, of let's say here we have two product, right? The same product appear more than one time. Even if it appears 10 times, right, it will make it a single record, and then it will mean, if you take the mean, you take the average for these 10 records, but end of the day only one record will be there. That's what we can see. Rishik, are you able to understand, right? See, this product more than one time it appears. When you use group by, it is doing the consolidation. It consolidates everything, but it does the average on this column, right? Aggregation. This is called aggregation, right? So 5.94. Very good. So now what I'm going to do is the average of the average price of this product is 5.94. I'm going to take this value. I'm going to replace that one with this one. How can I do that? How can I do that? Can someone tell me how can I do that? One way is I'm going to copy paste this one here, or I'll simply take this one here, right? For this product, I need to take the average. This is the one, right? Product name, and then group by. So the same thing, right? Yeah, see the entire thing. So this gives me the 5.94, right? When I take the average on these two records, because these two products are same, group by does the consolidation on the product name, same product, right? So okay, 5.94. On the left hand side, what I'm going to do is, right, I'm going to say price dot mean, right? So here what I'm going to do is group by, and we have something called instead of using this one, right, we have something called transform. Is that transform dot np mean? Product name and group by. Okay, group by product, here it is not required, but anyhow that doesn't matter. Price and transform np dot mean, but in the other version it was working here. Okay, otherwise what I'm going to do is I just take the mean of this one, simple one. Okay, I take the mean of this one. Okay, mean of this one. On the left side, what I'm going to do is price. It's a big line. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use price column here. Yeah, this is the price. If I query this one, right, gives me price for the first record. So that is the one average, right? So this is the one is NAN, right? Wherever the missing values are there for this product name equal to home airfare, on the right side I take the average this one and assign it back to this one. Okay, let us see what happens now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the NAN is the right here. It should not have NAN now. Now let us see whether that has been updated correctly or not. No, it is not updated, right? So 5.94 ohms HEPA air purifier. But here I did not receive any error here, right? So retail product name, okay, on the right side I'm getting correctly. Yeah, the average we got it. So this one I assign it back to this one. So or else what I do is, right, I am going to use some variable, right? So temp something like that. Let's yeah, the temp is holding 5.94, right? So let's do one thing. It is showing various other things. Yeah, product name and other things, right? Okay. That's the problem. $5.94. Oh yeah, this is the one, right? Temp of 0 gives me only the price or average price, right? Temp of 0, or else what I can do is mean, and finally I can give 0 also here. Okay, so likewise if the logic is bit complex, right, you can just try with these kind of things. Okay, yeah, so simple thing is you can put on the end, right, the 0, because this one produces the column name, see 2 columns, right? That is the reason why it is getting confused. So now let us check, at least if any luck, nothing has happened. Still the same situation, sir. Or what we will do is best thing, right? We will use temp of yeah. What I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm going to take only the temp of 0. Yeah, temp, right? I'm going to remove this. Ideally, yeah, I suppose use the missing values here, right? Price, ohms HEPA of airfare, price. Yeah, in that case, try using dot locate. Okay. It gives the proper, this one, right? Locate. So here NAN is there, right? I'm just going to query this. Still the same issue is there, NAN, right? It's not getting assigned. For this product, I'm going to take, okay, otherwise what we will do is we can use fill NA, but fill NA for the price column, right? Price column, but again this one. See, what we are supposed to do here is we are supposed to take the common value and then we are supposed to do it. Only then, see, in this case, we are not supposed to, we are doing hard coding, right? We are not supposed to do hard coding, right? We are supposed to generalize this one, okay? But actually there is a function called transform. It should work, but I don't know, is it due to version problem here? Here it is not working. Okay, we will come back to this little later. Okay, and the next thing is, what are the other column we have missing values here? So now let us check product column has no missing values, and we have something called store manager, right? Store manager has a missing values in it. What I'm going to do is, or let's take the simple example quantity. Simply blindly we take average on quantity. I'll replace wherever. Let's say there is a logic. Okay, you need to retail dot quantity dot fill any, right? Fill any. This one quantity dot mean, right? So this is the one you need to use it, and in place equal to true. Sorry, here mean. Okay, I just use mean here because for this only we are taking the mean, right? Mean is mean is not np dot mean, I think so. Np dot mean of retail dot quantity. You are done. You are done with this. And what is this here? Retail dot is null dot sum. Look here, the quantity also became 0, right? You need to take the average of this column and then take this one way. See, for example, see in this case logically it is not correct, right? You cannot take blindly average on the quantity column. There are certain columns, if they ask you to take the average and perform imputation, this is how you can use it, okay? This is how you can use it. And the next one is the store manager. We are left with store manager, retail dot store manager right, dot fill any. And here what I'm going to do is this one. We have used SciPy, right? SciPy mode. Yeah, mode of SciPy mode. Okay. Let's try to find out first, right? Even I don't remember the exact command. Let's try to use mode here. Simply we'll take the mode of this one. Yeah, the most frequently occurring store manager Grant Cardone, right? The most popular guy, right? Most frequently occurring guy. What I'm going to do is, the assumption is this is the guy is occurring most of the time. Hence, for these two store, wherever the missing values are, right? The two records, I'm going to replace the missing value, these two missing value by this one. Okay, that is the assumption here. Okay, that is what we are going to do. So this is the mode we will be using with the categorical variable. So store manager categorical variable, right? So this is what I'm. So but here this one produces output like 0, the index value along with this one, right? I don't want the index value to be displayed along with this, and so I'm going to use Grant Cardone. So now I got this one, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste it in the fill any, and in place equal to true. In place equal to true. Okay, this is fine. So the store manager 2 is there, right? Missing value. Now let us take a look at the value for this store manager. Also we did the data imputation. Okay, very good. So far we did. Only thing is the price column we are supposed to perform the imputation, but with this, right? Okay. So did I overwrite the price for 1 second? Let me just check here. In that case it would have done, right? So fill any, what we will do is we will use fill any. Okay, retail. Let me see if this one, retail dot price dot fill any, and within the bracket, and here I'll have to use the entire thing here, right? So yeah, let me just check. Not this one and this one. So the price is 8 is there, right? Price is gone now. See here one mistake happened, right? The fill in A. What? So here I should have used is null, right? See, I shouldn't have used in place equal to true, right? If initially I should have checked it. Wherever the price was missing, right? For that it should have done it. Rather, what it did, it updated this price for the entire products. All the product price became this one. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to reread this data once again. I just go down here and let me check retail price is now. I'm going to use this one, retail. Yeah, retail. So wherever the missing values are the price, yeah, temp0 I used it, right? Correct. Missing, and especially the product. Now I need to specify the product name also here, right? So retail price is null, and that's the mistake I did it. So and the retail product name is equivalent to EPA purifier. Now you understood, right? In real-time scenario, you may have to write some complex logics like this. Fill any with temp0. I'm going to fill the missing value for this condition, right? Here I don't have to use is null, right? Yeah, is null is not there, is not required. That's the reason why we are using fill any. Then why should I use fill any? For price for this product, right? For this product, especially for this product, the price of this product, wherever I have missing value, I'm going to put this value, right? temp0 is already I used it. Invalid syntax. Okay, here this one is correct, but yeah, somewhere something purifier it says here, right? The logic is correct only, right? So let me just check if this is correct. Okay, here it is not recorded square bracket. I made a mistake here. And reference drive and float and bold. Sorry, okay, here, right? Yeah, this is the one. It says bool is not possible with this one, unsupported operands, right? Now this issue gone, but I'm getting some other issue here. Okay, and what is this? Fill any. Okay, but it is a crazy thing. 1 second, let me do one thing. Because we have two records, right? Yeah, it should update it. I don't know why it is not doing this. Yeah, it updated successfully, right? So one record got a price was earlier 8, right? 8. Now it got updated. So now to verify this, right? See, ideally I should have used price here. Instead of putting the price there, I should have used it here. Okay. Look here. Now both the columns. Earlier we had missing value, right? NaN was there. This is not required. See, earlier in the price we had 8 records, we had missing values. Of the 8, we have we did the data imputation for this column, right? For this record, for this product, what we did the imputation. How we did this? We did this without using fill NA. We were able to use it, right? With fill NA, so certain complex things, right? We have some limitations, like you cannot use Boolean, something like that. So with this, we are able to update this one. Now it got reduced. The next question is, okay, and what are the other products which have missing values in it, right? So now let us take a look at this one. If I look at this, the other records, see now 2, 4, 6, 7. Earlier 8 records were missing. We successfully, Ohm's, Ohm's EPA is not there, right? It has got some record in it. So anyhow, for these products only now we have some. See, out of this we have 2 records which has a completely blank. What we can do is we can simply drop these 2 records, right? These 2 records blind, simply. But for that, what I'm going to, retail drop NA, right, and dot shape, I'm going to use it, this one, retail drop NA, right? So I'm going to use it. Sorry, we have something like in the drop NA, right? One second, sorry. We have something like how equal to all, how equal to any is there. How equal to all. I'll explain you what is drop NA, retail dot drop NA, how. $98 records. Can you see that? So total we found 100 records, right? So initially we found 100 records were there, right? So now I just used this one, all. Okay, what is all? See, there are 2 options here. Okay, and drop NA we have 2 options. One is all and other one is any. Listen very carefully. Okay, and I have something called any. Any means if the, so in this, listen very carefully, okay. Here we have 6 columns, right? Of these 6 columns, if any one of the column has a missing value, it will remove the entire record. I'll repeat it. We have 6 columns. Of the 6 columns, if any one of the column has a missing, for example, in this column, we have one missing value. Or let's take this record, okay, the record which has an index 0. In this record, only one, let's say in this column has a missing value. Or in this record, you have only one record, only one column has a missing value in this record. Rest of the column you have value. If you use of equal to any, if any one of the column is having a missing value, the entire record will get deleted. Okay, what is all? Of equal to all? One is any. If any one of the, see, it's a common sense, right? Any means if any one of the column has a missing value, remove the entire record. And all means if all the values in the given data set, right? All the values in all the columns have a missing value, remove those records, right? So now if I see I used false, right? That means it did not make the change permanent. Right. For example, if I look, so that's where the false option is very much helpful. See, if I still query retail dot, can you please concentrate here? Otherwise, you will not be able to understand. Okay, retail dot shape. What is this retail dot? So retail dot shape, right? Yeah. 100 records. See, still 100 records. But when I use drop NA, 2 records were already blank, right? I'll just show you the records also so that you don't have to get confused. See, if you can concentrate here, nothing is there. That's what I insist all my students, don't even get diverted even for a second. Because data scientists are paid high, right? So but the complication is that much. It's not that easier. Look here, I'll just open this in a Notepad++. Those of you don't have okay, better Excel is for better. Excel is always good. This is the one I uploaded there. Look here. So this record, entire record has a missing value, right? Listen very carefully. Entire record has it's a blank record. And can we see any other blank record? Yes, we have one more blank record. Apart from that, we don't have any other blank record, right? We have one blank record. How many blank records are Rishik? 2 blank records are there, right? So, and out of 100 record, 2 blank records are there. Why should I have blank records in my data set? Rather, what I do is I will use true here. It is like Oracle or database commit. If I give in place equal to true, remove the records, blank records. It's nothing but blank record. Remove all the blank records. Click run. Right now we will check retail.shape. The first one is row, second one is column. 98 record. That means successfully 2 blank records got removed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute this command. See, out of 8 blank values are there in the price column, 1 we were able to perform the imputation successfully. Now it got reduced to 7 instead of 8 records, right? 7 records as a missing value. Now what we did, we removed the blank records. After removing the blank record, we could see only 2, 4, 5 columns have the missing values. So what you can do is if I share this script, it is very easy, similar to this one, right? You take the average of this product price, assign it a variable, temp 0 and assign it back to this one, right? When you assign it back this one, this price will get updated. Similarly, you can do it manually for these products also. Again, you have some missing values for category and product. Still, what is this? No. This is the latest one, right? Yeah. So each product you find out similar to this, right? For example, I'll just check here. Different scenarios, you will learn it, okay? The next one is, for example, I have something called hammer mill, right? It's not a full name, it is not displaying in full. So what I do is I'll just copy paste this, sorry. And click run, look here. But in this case, when you look at Holmes EPA air purifier, right? 2 records were there. Earlier, you remember in the Holmes EPA air purifier, right? 2 records were there. Of the 2 record, 1 record was having the missing value. So what I did, I just picked up this price and replaced this one. How did I pick up? I took the average of these 2 records. This one plus this one. Actually, since NAN, it ignored simply. And since I did the average, right, only 1 record. 1 divided by 1, 5.94 divided by 1 is 5.94. It just, updated this one, right? And, but in this case, we were lucky. Even though this record for this product has no value for the price, but we have another record, another transaction, it has the same product, but it has a price in it here. Because of which, what we did, we took this price and we updated it here. We did the imputation successfully. But in this case, I don't have the similar record that is available in my data set. Like EPA's Holmes, right? If this record is available one more time, and if the price is also available, I take that price and updated this missing value with that one. But now, can someone tell me, it's a very common sense, if the price is not available for a product, and again you don't have any other option to check the price for the same product, you don't have access, how can you find out? What is the way out? How can you, fill this blank value of the price with the price of this one? How can you do that? Simple common sense question. You can, unmute and talk. Oh,
We can classify the particular product name based on the category and get.
yeah, we just, we just check the product name itself, right? For this product name, we have only one transaction. That too, we don't have any value for this price. Price is missing, somehow missing. Customer is very busy. We cannot disturb them. Already he told very clearly in the morning call, right? I'm very busy, don't disturb me. Right? So what is the way out here? You are scared of, calling him. So one way out is, one thing is, right? Simply tell him, boss, for this, I don't have any other, for this product, we don't have any other transaction which has a price in my existing data set. You have to give me the price for this. Simple. Ask him the price. Hey, give me price. So that I can do the imputation. Okay, for this record, I don't have data. For this, I have the data. Already I picked up. I did not disturb you. Right? But for this, if I disturb you, it makes sense. Fine. So this we can get it from the customer. Supposing customer gave in access to the price list. You have the data set, Excel sheet. This is an exercise for you all. Okay? No excuse. Next weekend I need an answer for this. The product name, copy paste this one in your Excel sheet. Okay? I'll just show you that one also, because I have a school student is there in this call. Let me do one thing here, right? So here I'm going to copy paste this. You need to create a new Excel sheet and copy paste this, this one here. Okay, for example, you paste it here, and here you just give product name. Let's the price is, you just assume the price of this product is, let's 3.72, something like that. But the price is available. This is my product price master. In the price master, this data is available. What you need to do is, if you have only one record for this product is available in your data set, that too this one has a missing value for the price, you need to do a lookup on this price master, pick up from here and update here. That is an assignment for you all. Okay, for all these products, you copy paste it here and put some dummy price. Okay, and then you put whatever price comes to your mind, you put it here. And what you need to do is, you need to read this file, right? So we have already read one file, retail missing file, right? And then you need to read this file also, price master, right? Price master, you need to read it, and then from that file you need to do a lookup and find out, similar to this product, any other product is available. See, similar to this product name, any other product name is available in the price master. Price master should have, right? So if that is there, pick up the value and perform the imputation. This is one assignment. Number 2 is, price can also vary from time to time, right? Let's say at least once in a quarter, certain product prices are changing it. You give start date, effective start date, and you give effective end date, right? So here you specify some date, okay, start date, or January 1st and 30th March, right? And same record you copy paste it. You need to copy paste it. Let me see whether at least in this batch, none of the batch they did it, okay? In this same product, but you say 9/7, the price got increased. The date, here the effective start date is April 1 to April, May, June, right? June 30th. Give this one. And then other product, let's for let's say this product, right? Hammer mill, or for example this one, right? There was no price change, right? Only one time it happened. After that, there is no 3.99, right? So there is no change here, but still give effective start date, end date, but you don't have any duplicate record for this, okay? For this, how will you do? But you need to take into account of effective start date, end date, but you need to take up the latest price. In this case, you need to compare your present date, right? So for example, in our data set, we don't have the date, right? Your date column is not there. So what you do is, as on today, right? Put 2 records, but what you do is, right? Today is, what is today's date? Today is July month, right? July month, what price is there? right? You need to, the date when you update this, right? Okay, you need to pick up this price. Instead of this price, you need to pick up this price and then update it, right? It's a bit complex one. Try it out. See, and most of you are laterals. I hope you can give it a try, right? Non-programmers, don't worry. And the freshers, you can ignore it, okay? I'll explain you the solution later, okay? So what you need to do is pick up the latest price, but in this case we don't have no changes happen to the price, okay? But for this item, 2 times the price got changed, but you need to take up the latest price and you need to update it, because you got this data file on this month, right? So hence you need to update the price, latest price with this one. You just think that way, right? But one more thing is, see here it is not affordable. Take one product and update it. What if I have 100 products or 1000 products? I could see missing values for the price column. Is there any way you can do group by product name? And if you do group by, right, each product, it will and find out the mean price, average price, right, and then update it. So how can you do that? Use lambda function. There's something a lambda function, right? So instead, you understood, right? See here I did it manually. See what I did, I just for this product I took the price, average price, and then I stored it in a variable, and this variable I used it on the right side and assigned it back, and I was able to do it, right? But one product, it is fine. If I have 1000 products missing in my, for 1000 products the price is missing, so do you think I can, for each and every product, can I do it like this? It will take a lot of time, right? No one will be like this. No one will like this. The one way out is you can take group by. So here price is null, right? Or fill any, you can use it on the right side, or retail.price is equivalent to, on the right side you can use group by product name, and probably what you can do is category or product name and price dot mean. You take that, right? Group by you are using it, right? And then what you need to do is you need to update on the left side for the products wherever it has a missing value for the price column. You need to update it. You understood, right? All of you are able to understand, right? That is one assignment. Number 2 is try with this one. First, once you are able to complete it, okay? So that one is fine. If you use group by, okay, let's say 4 products, you have duplicate records, and also those duplicate records has the price associated with it. That logic will work fine. And certain records you will not be able to find additional records like this, right? You found only one record, that too has a missing value, but you don't have any other record which has a price for this product, right? In that case you cannot disturb the customer, because customer gave you the price master, and the price master, the problem is effective start at end date is that you need to pick up the latest price, right? You need to automate this, come up with a logic for this, okay? Alright, so this is the exercise for you all. Let me see how many of you are completing it, okay? So this you try it out, okay? It's already 20 to 41. Sorry, I thought of completing a regular expression. This is a bit time taking one. Next weekend we'll try to I'll complete I'll speed up little bit, okay, with respect to regular expression and other topics, okay, so that I will try to complete the Python part little earlier, because we need to get into other topics also, okay? But anyhow, you have, apart from this, you have lot of assignments are there in my website, okay? I'll just share my website link. Rishik, you can also use this one, and Vijay, I will share the details, okay? Don't worry. Even as a data scientist, right, 60%, 55 to 60% of the time will be spending in the data pre-processing only. Just look at it. This is how you need to log in. Okay, and once you log in, and you need to scroll down, and then you just click data science course. Rishik, you can also try the same thing is available here. Okay, and you don't worry. You can log in here, and let me on the left side. If you scroll down here, right, you have something called pandas. You will find, you just do Control F. Pandas assignments. You have some pandas assignments. Okay, you just click this one and wait for some time. So just click this one. Okay, on the left side you will find the data sets also. Okay, download all the data sets. These data sets has less number of records in it. Download all the data sets. Look here, all these data set. Okay, if you place the cursor on top of this, you will find. Okay, download all these files. Okay, pandas related assignments you can do it. In order to do that, you need to have access to these data files. Okay, and next, if you click, okay, data set is there. Where is the exercise? Click assignments. If you click assignments, so here, right, you will find all the assignments here. It is a multi-choice question, okay, and you don't have to struggle too much. Look here, assignment 1. This is the data set. See EX1. EX1 is, this is a data file name, right? Excel file name, okay. EX1, you need to use EX1 to solve this one. When you open the EX1 file, you will find only this much of records. And here how you find 3 number of missing values in the column loan amount. You have something loan amount, but this column loan amount is there, yeah, correct. Right, so here we have 3 missing values, 1, 2, here 2, but actually 3 will be there in the data set. So now you need to use which command? Of these 4 commands, which command you can use it to find out the missing values from this data set, right? So that's how you need to find out. Okay, try this command and try this command, try this command. It's very simple, right? And then of these 3 commands you check which one is the correct answer, right? So this is the one, train.esmell.sum.loan amount. Specific column if you want to find out the missing value, total number of missing values, right? Answer is C here. Okay, similarly you have a lot of assignments are there, right? Almost 20, not only this one, and uploaded some more assignments also. 1 second. Yeah, look here, we have some more assignments are there. Okay, anyhow, you try with this one. Okay, day 1 scripts, right? 29 assignments are there for pandas. You complete that one, and the next one is this one, the dealing with missing values, right? This also I'll upload it in the GitHub, and I'll share the link and start work on this assignment. And also watch my videos before you attend the session. Okay, try to understand on your own. Okay, try to understand on your own. Right, American customers, they don't simply they don't explain anything. They simply say, right, because they are correct, because they are paying money to us, they expect us to play a consulting role, right? They don't teach us how the logic work, all the things, right? Already they are occupied with many things. So try to minimize the dependency on me and everything. Try to understand, try to solve those assignments, and let me see how many of you are completing it. It's a bit those of you worked on this kind of environment, right, you can do it, but still it is a bit complex one. Give it a try, right, and then come back with your solutions. Okay, all right, any other questions? Vijay, will talk to you later. Okay.
Okay, sir. Satya, it was too noisy earlier. You were not able to hear.
Too noisy, huh?
Yes.
Oh, am I shouting? Okay. See, because yesterday's what is it?
It was some fan sound or something.
Oh, no fan. I switched off the fan. See, yesterday what happened, I sent the thing, right? Today morning I sent the recorded video to you all. I just, started, because I have speaker in my laptop. I bought an external speaker. With that I was able to hear clearly. But when I started hearing from the mobile, the voice is not that good. That's the reason why I increased the volume in my speaker. Good that you gave me feedback. Okay, I will try to fix it. Okay. but still I checked it, but somehow some problem happened. Let me recheck it, okay?
I think other people, have not muted, unmuted, and then maybe the noise could have been from their side also.
That could, yeah, good thing, right? If those of you have not unmuted from your side, right, that problem could also happen. But all along the session, you were hearing any disturbance, Senthil?
No, sir.
Okay. Fine. Anyhow, I will recheck it. That's a good feedback. I will recheck it. If any problem with my mic or so, I will sort it out. Because I'm sitting very closer to mic today intentionally because the previous session voice was not that good, right? So anyhow, I will take care of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming from 124.
Other people also, right? From me, right? Yeah.
So it was from 124.
Oh, okay. Right. Anyhow, not a problem. I will check it. Okay. I will check from my side also, and also I request all the participants to mute yourself as soon as you log in. In case of any questions, you can unmute it. Okay, fine. All right, fine. So okay, it's already late for most of you. We will circle back next week and we'll share the recorded video because now I have some problem with the GoToMeeting. I cannot share it earlier because I am recording it from my side. Okay, again I need to re-upload it. Tomorrow by noon it will be available. Okay, all right. Okay, good night. Take care. Actually, because 6 people are in the 2.4 lakhs and but now also, man, don't give up. Okay, you need to be like Krish. Supposing you have something like this, how can you do this? Idhil edo problem irukku.